Breaking It Down. I'm your host, Skyer Baylog, and today I'm here with Mary Hardies, who's a county commissioner from Montmorency County.
Thank you.
Mary, could you tell us a little bit about your background?
I am a nurse. I have been a nurse for the past 40 years. I've lived in Montmorency County for 40 years. I'm a mother and a grandmother, active in the Christian school in the Hillman area.
And what got you involved in politics? Because you just ran for your second term, was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The first term, the commissioner at the time was stepping down and there was no one to take his place. And so I was asked if I would be willing. And so I said, yes, I would.
Okay. And I guess just to break down for the public, what does a county commissioner do?
Basically, the county commissioner, there's three main things that the county commissioners are supposed to do, and that is take care of the finances, the real assets of the county, and the financial, constituent services, and good policy, setting good policy.
So what were your expectations rolling in? From a nurse background, were you super involved in politics at all? Were you?
No, armchair politics.
Okay.
But always interested, have always been interested in politics. I guess your question is what I anticipated?
Yes.
I guess I anticipated at a local level that people would be more in tune to the whole county needs and what is good for a county. And I guess that is what I anticipated I would find.
Now, and when you rolled into office, what did you see happening, and what does that look like for a commissioner, someone who hasn't been in the system? What did that look like, especially for Montmorency County?
Well, you come in cold. You don't know anything. You don't know how meetings are run or anything to that, other than what you've participated or seen, but you don't really know the rules or those kind of things. We did do a training, and we all went to the training, and that was very good, and it was very helpful. There's materials that they give you that you're able to use as a resource. But as far as training, there wasn't like an orientation or anything to that level that would make you feel comfortable in the first couple of meetings at least. You kind of, it's kind of baptism by fire.
A lot of people, I guess, look at like national politics and even state politics as really kind of radical, dramatic, and kind of fierce. Is that similar with local politics? Do you find kind of that animosity between different people, kind of that?
Yes.
And is that with all departments? Is that with other commissioners? How do you?
No, I would say that there's. When you're coming, you would think, I guess my thought was when you come in, people are working for the county, they're working in these positions, and they should already have in the back of their head that there's going to be a change on a routine basis, especially where the commissioners are concerned, because up until this next term, it was every 2 years there was a change. There was going to be other people. So you would anticipate that the different departments in a county would understand that, and would sense that coming. I guess my surprise was, it's circle the wagons and no, you can't touch our department, and no, you can't touch this, and no, we can't look at that because we've always done it that way. Things like that I found a little awkward. As a nurse, you work in committees and you work in teams. And we're used to, even if we don't agree on something, we're able to come to common ground and to see a goal and be able to work towards that goal. It's not, I don't really see that at the county level.
Do you see, I guess, I don't want to quite call it a bureaucracy, but that's almost what it's close to, it seems like, with some of those departments. Do you see them kind of, when they're resisting change, does that benefit the people?
No, it wouldn't. No, and I can see their hesitancy because on their side they want things kept the way they are, and I get it. Some of it is just, they want to control. But on the other hand, as a commissioner, we're sent there to do a job. We're sent there to, probably the main one would be policies and the financial aspect of the county, to have that focus and a plan. And there's a lot of pushback on that.
Now, to the people watching this that have either gotten elected just now or are considering running, what are some helpful things that you've learned that they could kind of utilize before they enter into office or before they even consider running for office? What's a couple good tips for them?
Well, if they have a specific office like being a commissioner, I suggest that they talk to the commissioners, maybe their commissioner, that they attend meetings. There are, like I said, the resource book from Michigan State University that we had provided to us are great resources, great things to read and to kind of understand the scope of what the office actually is. It's huge, I think, to talk to other commissioners and to get their perspectives and to attend meetings.
Do you see, when you mentioned budgets as one of the things commissioners do you see other counties kind of competing for the same funds? Do you see other counties working with us, or is each county just like, for the most part, separate from one another and just they don't really coordinate much as far as, I guess, Northeast Michigan objectives go, I guess you could say?
Each county has its own needs and its own issues, and I would say that they work, they're very independent. Now, that said, we sit on boards of various, for example, I sit on the health department board, and you have commissioners from other counties that are there, and a lot of times, we speak about what's going on in their county. They ask us what's going on in our county. There's a little bit of that exchange in those meetings, but I don't see where their policies interfere with ours or vice versa.
Now, so being on the health department board, and that's a couple county boards and stuff, so you've kind of gotten to see a bird's eye view, a little bit of Montmorency, I'm sure. What's our county doing right that other counties maybe haven't gotten right, or that we're just a step ahead on?
Well, I've only been a commissioner for 2 years, right? I'm just ending that first term. And the one thing that I noticed, interestingly enough, I probably should back up. One of the things that made me interested in being a commissioner is we started to see things like the jail was being closed. We got a controller. There was quite a bit of things going on in our county, and that was intriguing. Why were we doing that? And you can read what's in the paper, but that there's only, that's only usually a one-sided version. You're not getting everyone's perspective in that. And I guess when I stepped into it, they had the controller for about a year. What we're doing right, I can see that piece of the puzzle is huge compared to some of the other counties that don't have an actual controller. The controller that we have happens to be on top of a lot of things, and she understands the flow of the county in general. And just our money, what we get presented to us in budget form from the controller's office and what's going on in the other departments as far as budgets, it's huge, because I think we have a lot more knowledge than what goes on in some other counties.
I mean, does the controller, I guess that's the other hard part too, I'm sure, when you go from election to election, there's got to be so much change. It probably is nice to have someone kind of consistently.
Right, because they were there they were there for previous commissioners, and they know the flow of what's going on in the county. They know the rhythm. When does the money come in? When do these grants come due? All of these things. They basically have their calendar, and they know when things are coming up.
Now, when you walked onto the board, there was kind of a few incumbents leaving, and you kind of walked on to an almost half new board. It seems like that's happening again a little bit this year with a couple commissioners not winning or not running again. And you're likely to go in for chair, or at least be nominated for chair, I'm assuming. What does that look like if you are the chair of Montmorency County?
I would hope that we would have, number one, I would like us to see a strategic plan in Montmorency County. I would like to see the commissioners all agree on a focus of where we want the county to go as far as unfunded debt. Some of those issues that I think we should be tackling and looking at long term. So I'm hoping that we can have a little more concise view of what we want the county to look like.
Can going after the debt, because I know Alpena's got kind of a contentious situation right now. without raising taxes, or I guess bringing another millage, I mean, it cannot be done without raising taxes?
Well, our Headley did not pass, and which was concerning. However, because we've had some really good financial care over the last 4 years with our treasurer and our current controller, even though it is a hit and it's a loss of revenue and we have to be very cautious with that, we're a small county, we don't have a lot of funds to begin with. And all of that said, I can see where we're going to be able to make, we're going to be discussing the budget actually tomorrow. We didn't have to lay off at this point. We didn't have to lay anyone off. We're kind of in a position where we have enough room that we can still function without getting in it, the necessary millage. Doesn't mean that we don't have to be cautious and again look at that long-term debt. When you've had somebody take a significant amount of your income away, what do? You cut things that are not necessary and that you don't want to see ballooning and coming up when you're not able to, take care of those expenses.
What does being cautious look like from a commissioner's view? Because if the public's hearing that, I guess that could mean a lot of things. Is that simply practicing restraint when someone comes and asks you for money? Is it as simple as that? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. You have to look at the whole picture. You can't say yes to everything. We might have to change things that have not been funded in the past. There's been perks and things like that we've had, but they were never funded for. They were never planned for. And at this point, we probably need to plan for what we're going to do. For some of the, for example, there's an early retirement that is currently on the books for 55 to 65 years old. It's not really utilized at this point, but yet it's a large expense if you were to have multiple people do it in a year, because the county would technically be paying for insurances for retirees, potentially up to 10 years. So it's a significant amount of money. It needs to be looked at. It's not done now that we have, I believe it's a 403. They have pensions or a retirement fund. Some of those things were done maybe 20 years ago. We probably need to move on from that now.
Now, something that a lot of citizens complain about at the federal, state, and certainly local level is transparency. Is that kind of one of your, I guess one of your goals is to get the county to be more transparent as far as what the public understands coming out of the county?
Yes. Yeah, we need good agendas. And when we have agendas, of course they can always change at the time of the meeting, but when we have an agenda, we need to have, I like to see people come. I like to see people come to the meetings, whether they like how I vote or not is another issue, but people coming is always good. It always tells us that people are involved and interested.
And is there, and I know every board does things differently, and I think your current meetings are at 9 a.m. Is there any consideration to potentially move a meeting or two to later?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, actually, that's been a conversation.
So I guess what can people do to get more involved with their county and with local government?
Again, probably, read the minutes. The meetings themselves are recorded. They can get on the county website and listen to the meetings live, or there's always at least 2 recordings that are there that they can listen to in arrears. Again, if they have a concern or a question, they should call their commissioners. They can call the board office. We also have on the county website, if they've got issues with, they've had problems dealing with any department, there's a survey that people can take that can help them get involved in that level as well, if they've had problems dealing with any of the departments or even the commissioner's office or what have you.
And so for Montmorency County, there's 5 commissioners and it's divided in districts. Where can the people go? You should contact their commissioners. If I didn't know who my commissioner was, where would I go?
Go to montcounty.org,
okay.
MONT, and then county.org. And it'll list the commissioners, it lists our contact information.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming, Mary. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving us with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? That's their loss. I'm going to make it your gain. For the first time ever, you get standard classic MyPillows for wholesale prices, only $14.88. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, I'm going to offer my entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Upgrade to a queen size MyPillow for just $18.88. King size only $1 more. Get my body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on the screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever on TV, including my standard size MyPillow, only $14.88. They've never been offered this low before. We have limited quantities at this price, so limit's going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone.